Hello everyone. This video is about how to get started with Excel. You may wish to take a look at how I do things in Excel during this video in order to help you out on how to do lab number one for the class. Instructions that I want to present here, which is related to Excel, I'm opening an existing file that I have right now in Excel. Of course, this is not the same type of file that you would have after complete lab one, but that is at least is going to have an idea how to perform um, the examples that are provided in the instructions of lab one. Okay, so you can see here that in my file, which is open right now, I have a certain data content already entered in that. In lab number one, you're gonna have to do that as part of your assignment. Okay, so what I wanna show mainly about getting started with Excel is that for most of the labs, we're gonna need what's called analysis Toolpak, and also sometimes, not always, we're gonna also need Megastat. Okay, so as you read the instructions for lab number one, it's gonna give an overview of which terms, how we call certain things within this screen. I'm gonna not focus on that, but if I click in the tab, in my menu tab that says data, you can see here that I already have installed Megastat, and I also have the data analysis toolpath. Once you have that installed, it may not be active for you to see then. So I'm going to show now where you should go in order to see or add them to these ribbons in the data menu. So click in File, the green tab, and now you have options. So it's open up a dialog screen for you. You have a left menu, so there is the add-ins. Click that. So here it tells me all the applications I have installed, active, non-active, within my Excel. So you can see that you have the necessary tool already active for you, or maybe it is installed but not active, so it's going to appear here. So the way we make this active, okay, is by looking at this, manage the Excel add-ins, and if you click Go, you're going to see the add-ins options that I have available to my Excel program. And you can see that right now I have checked Analysis Toolpak, and I also have Megastat. So if those are unchecked, it means that they're not going to show as I showed to you before here in the data menu of Excel. It happens that sometimes they are checked, but it still doesn't show. This is a problem within Microsoft. It's, in our applications. Sometimes they do not work the way we would like they work. So if that happens, so you uncheck, click OK. So let me do that. Uncheck, click OK. You can see that it's still in data menu. Those two tools disappear from me. Let me put back because I will need that eventually. So I like to have this option on for me. So again, File, Options, Add-ins, Go. Let me check Analysis Toolpak and Megastat for me. Okay, so now immediately the two applications now appear in my data menu. Okay, so next thing that I would like to mention is, for example, one of the things that Excel is good with is that it can work as a calculator for you, but a calculator is much simpler. It's basically just punching numbers and get results. So we can do that as well here, but it's in a more efficient way, especially when you have large data sets. So you can see that I'm going to show you that you can only do a formula, which is asking Excel to compute something for you once, and kind of replicate for all the cells instead of doing over and over and over the same thing, which you would do that for a calculator. Okay, so if you look, I have here three columns with some data entered. So the first column describes three different majors. The second column, you cannot see right now well because one column overlaps the other. So let me adjust that. I want to wrap text. Now you can see what those means. So my first column, majors, second column, number of students associated to each of these majors, and the third column that tells me cost per textbook in dollars for each of the students in these majors. Okay. Um, Again, as I mentioned before, Excel works as a calculator for you with more advanced settings, especially when you have a large data set. For example, I would like to add the number of students in the second column, column B. I want to, under column B, to add those three values. You have, of course, three values I could do myself by hand or as to the calculator and type in the value there, but I want to do this in automatic way, especially when I have a large data set. So let me enter equal. And as soon as I enter equal, Excel's understand that I want Excel to do a computation for me or several computations for me. Okay, so equal means do some computation in terms of Excel language. Um, there are different ways of adding this. So you can type in the formula that you need. As soon as you start to type something related to what you want, it gives a menu of possible formulas that you can use. I wanted to sum those three values. So what I can do in every single formula in Excel, most of them have parentheses, and inside parentheses you actually select the cells or put the address of cells that you want to add in this case. So I want to add this column. So let me instead select the three cells. So you can see that it's filling with the address. So B from B2 to B4 cells, I want them to be added. So if I click enter, you can see that add the value. So let me indicate that that is my total row. And I could do the same here, but this time let me show you that there are different ways of entering formulas in Excel. I wanted the same thing, but I'm gonna do it in a different way. So we have a menu called formula. So if I click on this, you can see that there are different options, different kind of formulas you can enter, but mostly sums are something that we always do. As soon as I put my cursor, the mouse pointer on that, it tells me what it would do with a certain column, as you can see. Okay, so let me get out of there for a minute. So notice that for the third column, I want to add this value. I only put my pointer in that cell, so I'm in cell C5. And if I just click in auto sum, it's filling all information I need without me doing anything. So it's kind of more automatic than typing in the formula with the cell address inside that. So, and now I just need to enter and it's gonna do the computation for me. Okay, so there are different ways you can enter formula, but formulas are always started with an equal sign. What if I don't put the equal sign, but I want to add two numbers? Let's say I want to add the numbers 2 plus 4. We know that's 6, but nothing happens when I press enter. It means that Excel understands that that is just a text. So I want to show in that cell the text 2 plus 4 instead of doing a computation. In order to do that computation, I'm going to put the equal sign. And now you see that it understood that it has to do a computation, which is the addition of 2 and 4, and it gave me the result 6. Related to formulas, so let me erase this. I want to clear this. I don't need that 6 there. I could just delete with the keyboard as well. That also works. In order of formulas, something that you're going to do in lab number 1 is to do computation pertaining to 2 or maybe even more columns. So you can see here that, for example, if I would like to have the total amount of money spent in textbook for all the students in the math majors I have in that data, I'm going to start with equals. It means that all I need to do to know the total amount spent on textbook for my students in math, which there are 23 students in the course, I multiply 23 times 50. But instead of type in 23 times 50, I'm actually going to use the cell address for that. Okay, it means I start with equal because I want Excel to do a computation. Then I click on this cell. It tells me that's going to take cell B2, whatever is in that cell, and then times the other cell C2. Notice there is a color coordination, so it indicates which of the cells you're using and in which moment of your computation, which kind of helpful. Now, if I click enter, it's going to give me the result. Now, if I have a long list of majors, it means that I would probably want to do for all of them, but that may be tedious to do one by one. So I'm going to show now that instead of doing one by one, I want to kind of replicate this formula for the other rows of my content there, right? So I want the same similar result here, here, and why not the total on the bottom, okay? Okay, so I want to replicate. I want this to happen for the other rows as well. So you can see that as soon as I select this, there's a little green square on this corner. So if I put my mouse pointer right there, it changes shapes to a cross, black cross. So if I click, hold down and drag down that, you can see the selection of the cells. It's going to replicate that formula for all other rows. So let it go, and you can see the automatic computation done. Let me tell you that it shows me already all the computations adjusted for every single row. In certain Excel programs, depending on how it's configured, it may not show. It's going to just show a copy of the number 1150 repeated all over. So if that is the case, nothing that you did wrong, but you need to update the formula. So just click on this calculate now, and it's going to adjust all other copies to what the value should be. Okay. Okay, so let me point out that this is my original formula, B2 times C2. And then you can see here that instead of B2 times C2, because I'm now in the third row, it actually, the formula was adjusted to B3 times C3. And the same thing for row number 4, row number 5. Okay? So you can see that there is an automatic adjustment of the formulas when I do this. So imagine that you have 1,000 rows and you have to do all this computation for all 1,000 values in each row. Instead, you're going to just do once, click on the little green, select the cell where you did the computation, look at the little corner, lower right corner, the green, put your mouse there, click, drag down until whatever you want, let it go. It's going to automatically do this computation all over. Okay, so you just basically need to do one and then replicate. Okay, so I want to show another thing about um, this lab, something that you need to do for lab number 1. Let me copy and paste. So I want to copy this data, copy, and paste somewhere else. Let's say here. Okay, I made a copy of my data set. Let's say I want to do the same computation, but you see that the address of all cells change for the copies I made. So what if I select that cell, the original cell, doesn't need to be that, could be any of the other that has a formula. Control C to copy that. You can see now is in the mode that says, hey, in my clipboard, I have this copy that I can now paste anywhere. So let's say I want to put here, so I'm going to paste. Okay. Unfortunately, at this point, you can see that the value is exactly the same. So it's really literally a copy. It's not even a replication of the formula. Let me do calculate now and see what happened. Nothing. Uh-oh, I realized there is something wrong. That even though it's the same result, maybe I didn't do well. What all you need to do, double click in the formula to see what the formula is showing, but you can see that it's actually accurate, right? Because it's exactly a copy of the other. What if I change that? I still want to copy from here, but I want to take and change some values. So let's say this is 32 now. This is, I don't know, 43 and 20. So I should not expect the same value. So let me erase this for now. But I want to copy from here and put it right here. Okay. So what I want to do now is that show you that even though I copy from B2 times C2 to another position, that another position adjusted the address accordingly. I want to copy the formula 82 times I2, which give me this value of 1600, to another position, let's say 1, 2, 3 columns to the right, but let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 rows down. Let me copy and paste that. You can see that there is a 0 there. So if I click in the formula, you can see that this address move accordingly. Okay, so then let me replicate this formula for the others. All results going to be adjusted accordingly. Okay, again, if your Excel is not adjusting the formulas accordingly and only copying values, do calculate now to recalculate the spreadsheet and update all the values. Another thing that I always ask my students to do for every single lab is to add the information as a header with student's name and saying which lab is that. Please insert header. Where is header? Is right here. So go insert header. So you can see it comes, it changes the page to a format that we understand like a Word document. So you can see that I'm in the header mode, so I can type my name there. Let me put date as well, or lab number 1 to show, and let's see, whatever or extra information I want to put into that's needed. So this is good for me to know that the file belongs to you, because in general the name of the original file itself doesn't tell me who you are when I read that, and that's helpful. Okay, I hope this was somewhat helpful to you to understand formulas. Now please go and do your lab number 1 and submit on Blackboard. Any questions, let me know.